Hey, stay away from these hyenas, man. These black mambas, aka the Negro woman, man. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. So, quick one, man. I just saw this brother put this on the timeline, man. And, more evidence, more proof of why the apostles, from of great millstone through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, warn brothers on certain topics, man, particularly the other sex. These nigger women, man, these black heifers, and why you need to stay away from these hyenas, man. Now they're saying there's a big surge, and I remember a couple of videos ago, well, Apostle Elder Tahar mentioned this topic about the rise of STIs and basically was once known as STDs, sexual transmitted diseases, and now it's called STIs, sexual transmitted infections, is on the rise over there in Dallas. And now they're saying, according to this report, this headline here, in Houston, Texas, the HIV and STI cases surge faster than the rest of Texas, predominantly in, the black heifers, man. The black mambas, the black woman, man. This is why the apostles and elders have been saying, stay away from these hyenas, man. Because these women are not right. And these women are just out here, open their quiver to every arrow and every snatch that they can see out there, man. They're just sharing diseases like it's a box of fairy cakes, man. They're just out here just being nasty and just whorish as ever in history, man. And this is just indicative of America as well, because America's known as a whore that saileth upon many waters, and that place has been used and abused and it's getting ready to be terminated by way of fire. So it makes sense that as the king is, so are the people, as the scripture say in the Apocrypha, roughly paraphrasing. That these women out here are just straight up haughty and just on a tirade slutfest out here, and there's just no morals left in America. But the only thing left for America is the nuclear destruction, man. That's all you can see that's left, man. Because America's just filth. The leaders are filth. They're vomiting up their they're swallowing up their own vomit, so to speak. Starting from the leader of the Oval Office, DJ Trump, on down to the average citizen, and these women, the devil's that plays the devil's advocate, Eve. She's in league with the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, these Edomites. And so this is why this place is so promiscuously and just totally demoralized, man. And as I said, all that's left is the nuclear destruction, man. Because you don't even want to deal with these women out here nowadays, man. Because these women, as you can see according to this headline, these women are just not trustworthy, man, in any way, short or form. So the time of relationships and long-term relationships, those days are coming to an end, man. But yeah, stay away from the nigger woman, man. The apostles been saying this for the longest, and it's not because they're hating. It's all through the spirit, man. And you can see now why. Because there'll be a lot of brothers that's going to be running to them damn sex clinics for checkups if you keep dealing with these black heifers, man, these black mambas, because they're full of venom, full of STIs and HIV diseases, man. And it's disgusting, man. It's running rife. If it's running rife over there in Texas, that means it's spreading over there to different states as well. But obviously the numbers are just like skyrocketing in Texas because the women over there are just loose balling, basically. Moving like it's a third world country out here, and they ain't got nothing, no healthcare services out there or something like that. But yeah, man, the nigger woman, man, stay away from these black heifers, man. One or two quick scriptures and close out. It says Amos 7:17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall be fooled by the sword, and all the land shall be divided in a line by line. It says, and thou shalt die in a polluted land. It says, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. And America is definitely a polluted land, man. The mindset, the philosophies, and people's bodies are definitely polluted. All these different, organisms they ingested in their body, man. It's not even real, food, the GMOs and Monsantos and all of that shit, pure poisons that they're ingesting and swallowing down their gob, every day over there. And gluttonous manners as well in America. There's no the people are not temperate. They don't have a balanced diet. Obesity and all these different things, and diabetes is running rife over there in the West, man, and it's definitely over here in Europe too. But America's just totally worse, man. You got people that's going. The average person's over 200 or 250 pounds or more. In their early 20s. You got the women with the rhino ankles and all of that shit. The rhino swollen ankles and all that. That's because all the abominations they be ingesting that fish bowl, which is nothing but crab and lobster and all this wickedness. So that adds to the fermentation or the fermenting of all them poisons ingested in their body, and then the wild, depraved sex acts that they do, whether with other men or women or even animals, man. It's just diabolical, man. So the poison's just rife over there in the West, man. Put it that way, man. People are just living a full diseased lifestyle, man. And you are what you eat. So this makes perfect sense. And this is America. These are the curses that fallen upon our people, especially the women, because of their lascivious and wanton behavior. And being undisciplined, man. And that pride, being haughty as well, like it tells you in the next precept, Isaiah 3:16. This is why the Lord cursed their scalp, man. And these women can't even grow, inches upon their scalp. The Lord cursed their scalp with baldness, going back to their predecessor Eve, the Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, meaning proud, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. And it's even more so nowadays, man. You see these women out here that are straight up lawless. Adultery is just off the charts. They're just wanton, undisciplined. You can't trust these bitches as far as you can throw them, man. They walk with stretched forth necks to telling a man what you can and can't do. What they give you a man a list of things that he's got to do before you can even initiate and spread those cheeks, so to speak, and get a whiff of that stank box, that used box. She's all got these demands of a list of demands that he's got to meet. Even if she's had about 10 different youths by 10 different baby fathers, she's still got a list of demands the next guy's got to carry. He's got to carry the burden of those 10 different kids that ain't even his, on his case. And even one guy, I was watching one podcast and he said in France that if, according to their law, because it's so lawless out there and so many complaints of adultery, that, basically if a man that gets a woman pregnant over there and he finds out that it's not his kid, he basically can't complain. He can't file for, you basically can't have a blood test. You can't have a maternity test to find out if the actual kid's yours, because women out there are so loose. And because that's called the Paris and all that, the city of love and all that BS. So lasciviousness and adultery is running rife over there in France, Paris, all them different places. And was it Saint-Tropez, or what's that other place called, where all the cruises and all that shit is, where all the rich go basically. But all those places there, if a woman gets pregnant by a dude and he suspects that the kid's not his, he's not allowed to have a paternity test basically, because more than likely it's going to be found out the kid's not his, but he's still got to take care and look after the grimy ass youths and raise them up, So this place is just straight up wicked, man. This is why the Lord said it's an adulterous and wicked generation, and 2/3 of our people need to be destroyed, man, especially these nigger women. So it says back in Isaiah 3:16, it says they walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. So they walk with bare pride, man. No shame in their game, so to speak. It says no shame in their game. It says, therefore the Lord will smite with the scab the crown on the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. Yes, so the Lord's exposing these women for what they truly are, as a bunch of, haughty, uh, whorish demons, man, deviants, basically. It says, in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments and their feet about their feet and their cause. It says, and the round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers. So the Lord gets, smote the scab of these women, man, and they suffer from something called um, alopecia, like that black heifer Jada Stinkit Pinkett, got hit with that curse because she's committed adultery against her husband, which he's nothing but a beauty bandit anyway. But that information got leaked, so the Lord smote her scalp, and now she's got alopecia and all that. So these women are cursed. The nigger woman is cursed, man, from the inside and out. Internally and externally, they're cursed. Says I'll jump down, man, because sake of time. Verse 24, and it says, and it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. So that's why these women boxes are smelling all like, prime time sewage, and they can't do nothing to get rid of that stench, man. No matter how much they try and clean up or douche themselves or whatever, half of them don't even know about douching themselves anyway. They wear all that tight clothing, and they don't, basically wear dresses like they're supposed to, so the air can get up in there and keep that shit fresh. So it's just smelling all funky and fishy and all that. Oh, man. And it's just a rank smell, man. So it's always going to be on them, especially the nigger woman, and as well as that baldness upon their head. That's why they can't stop wearing them damn wigs and putting them damn hair extensions, which is also, poisons that they, basically seeps into their brain through their weaves and all of that shit, seeps into their scalp and all that, and poisons their immune system, so to speak. It says, and it shall come to pass, instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink, grotesque stink, man. And said, instead of a girdle of rent, a rent, man. That's why a lot of our people, the nigger women, suffer from high levels of diabetes and obesity, and all of those different ailments. It says, and instead of well set hair, baldness, yeah. So they suffer from high levels of straight up bald heads, man, from a newborn up until they peel up and die, basically, man, croak up and die. They suffer from that baldness upon their head as a curse from the Lord. It says, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Yeah, a lot of ugly black heifers out here, man, especially these big Shirleys. So these are the curses that's falling upon these heifers, man, because they ain't right in the spirit, man. They're totally off. And articles like this exposes that more reasons why you're supposed to stay away from the nigger woman, man, and count your blessings. It tells you that in Ecclesiastes. King Solomon did an experiment out of 1,000 women. Said there's not one that was righteous, but out of 1,000 men he found one that was righteous. So it said, happy blessed is he that, when the Lord keep it. It's lucky. I don't want to butcher, but it's Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter anyway. Blessed is he that, basically, the Lord keepeth him away from, the heifers. He that if escapeth Slakia. And my mind's doing a spin right now, Slakia, man, mixing up my words. But blessed is he that escapeth her, man. Roughly paraphrasing from the book of Ecclesiastes. When King Solomon did that experiment. It's Deuteronomy 23 and 16 or 17. It says this is supposed to be a part of the law. It says there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor sodomite of the sons of Israel. But what do we have here? We have complete total opposites over here in the West, where they actually endorse and promote our women to be lascivious sluts and whores and hyenas and all of that, and they promote that men should be more effeminate, beta and simpish and more, Moism than ever before. And that's even in the same chapter, Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. Women are their children are their oppressors, and women shall rule over them. and they declare their sin as Sodom, man, you know, because our people are just totally going off. And you can see that from all these different industries, from the music industry to the sports and entertainment on down, that when it comes to, you know, sodomy and all these things, Jake is at the helm of that, man. They advertise it the most, you know, because they love this place, Babylon the Great. So the Lord's going to destroy 2/3 of our people, Ezekiel 9 and 4. That's why them death angels are going to be, you know, circling the block, so to speak, you know, these last days. And a lot of these women are going to get put out of their misery. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and even women. So a lot of these women out here are going to, you know, meet their fate. Since they love death, you know, they hate the Lord. So they're not, them that hate the Lord, they love death, as it tells you in the book of Proverbs, man. So that's what's coming for these black heifers, man. So once again, stay away. Stern warning, man. Admonishment for the Akim, man. It's not hating. It's out of love, man. You know, stay away from these black heifers or face the consequences, man. You already see it's not going to be a good outcome, man. So give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chachadash. Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.